And good afternoon. My name is Taryn Urquhart, and I am the Arts and Special Events Programmer here at the West Vancouver Memorial Library. It is my great pleasure to be your host for this very special Foundation Signature Series concert with Measha Brueggergosman. Before we begin, I'd like to acknowledge that the library has its home on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territories of the Coast Salish people, in particular the Squamish, Tsleil-Waututh, and Musqueam First Nations. I also wish to acknowledge and thank the Mi'kmaq people on whose territory Measha is performing. The West Vancouver Memorial Library Foundation Signature Series is brought to you by the Foundation and several community supporters. This event is sponsored by Grosvenor, British Pacific Properties, and Leith Wheeler Investment Council. A little bit about our foundation. The West Vancouver Memorial Library Foundation believes that great libraries help build great communities. Donations to the foundation have supported projects like The Lab, which I'm in today, Booktopia, and through a generous bequest from the estate of Robert Leslie Welsh, our Friday night concert series. And I'm hoping a lot of you out there are joining us from our usual concert series. Now the foundation is giving back to the community, thanks to many generous donations over the years, with the foundation's signature series to help us all through these challenging times. A little bit about our format today. Very shortly, I will be welcoming Measha Brueggergosman to the screen. I'll have some questions for her, and then she'll treat us to an exclusive concert featuring an eclectic program of classical, spiritual, and some of her favorites from the jazz world. So now it is my very great pleasure to introduce Measha Brueggergosman. Measha has presented innovative programs at Carnegie Hall, Washington's Kennedy Center, and beyond. She has also recently worked with the Philadelphia Orchestra, the Los Angeles Philharmonic, San Francisco Symphony, and the New World Symphony Orchestras. Offstage, Measha is just as active. In 2017, she released her memoir called Something Is Always on Fire, which you can borrow at our library. In fact, I just returned it, and I really, really enjoyed it. It is a brave, brave piece of writing. She appears regularly on primetime TV and leads Canadian children across the country in song in celebration of the nationwide campaign for music education. And without further ado, please join me in welcoming Measha Brueggergosman. Hi, Measha.
Oh, hi, Taryn. How are you?
Very well. How about you?
I'm good. Sending lots of love from rural Nova Scotia. Thrilled the internet connection is holding.
Excellent, because you are 4 hours ahead of us.
We are. You know, I feel like in a lot of ways the Maritimes are ahead, including in time. Not that it's a competition. No, but I love the West Coast so much. I've been so blessed on that side of the country. It's the side of the country that has actually given me the most viewers because 3.8 million people watched me sing in the opening ceremonies of the Vancouver Olympics. So I also sang my first Mahler 10 with the Vancouver Symphony. And the Vancouver Opera gave me my very first Madame Lidoine in Poulenc's Dialogue of the Carmelites. Also, the Rockies are a huge deal.
Yes, yes, they are.
On this side of the country, I had no idea. So I'm so happy to be making my debut with the West Vancouver Memorial Library. So thanks so much for having me.
Well, thank you for being with us. I was one of those, however million or billion people that watched you at the Vancouver opening our Olympics, because it was such a special time here in Vancouver. What was it like? Because I think I read in your biography that you were just in the moment and wanted to remember it all. Can you take yourself back there even now?
Oh, yes, I've still never watched it because
Oh,
I know that it will taint my perspective because I knew that the perspective I was seeing from was so unique. I knew that the air was so rare that I never wanted to erase the memory I had. And, I can still tell you every single person that was in that dressing room. Like, I was like, am I seriously tripping over Katie Lang and Sarah McLachlan right now? This feels pretty odd for a girl from the north of Fredericton, but I'm certainly not going to block my blessing. I just soaked everything in because I knew I, I it's not that we don't believe that we're deserving of good things, but I was pinching myself the whole time.
excellent. Yeah.
And
Uh,
you'll remember, I don't know if you'll remember, sorry to interrupt, but you remember that there was that Georgian luger who had fallen in training. I almost said rehearsal, who had fallen in training on the test run. And so in the opening ceremonies, they had inserted a 1 minute moment of silence.
right.
And they changed it at the last minute, which is, if you can imagine, the size of the production was a huge deal. And they gave me first time an earpiece, and I was, one of the only people who sang live, just because I have to be able to hear things, and I'm not great at lip syncing. Let me just tell you. Um, and I remember thinking, okay, I'm going to be out there. All the lights were out. And of the tens of thousands of people in the stadium, people were still flashing their cell phone cameras because it was such a unique perspective. And so there was no light on me. There was no barrier on the, however many dozens of feet drop right in front of me. And the orchestra was behind me and the whole crowd. And I knew that my parents were seated over here. So I could kind of, in the way that that you're sharing a moment, I kind of looked up and I could sense that my mother could see that I was looking at her. And it was silent. You don't ever get to be silent with that many people, really acknowledging something so significant. And that for me was more than the singing, more than the processing, more than anything else. That moment for me was, yeah, unique and absolutely, I'll never forget it. I'll never have it again.
Right. Well, your hair was amazing. The dress was amazing. So thank you for being part of that. That it will always be very memorable, I think, for many, many Vancouverites. So now, could you tell us a bit about the program you've put together for us tonight? Because I know a lot of people know you from the classical repertoire that you do, but you've been foraying into spirituals and jazz lately. So tell us a bit about that.
Well, I gotta, first of all, thank you to the West Vancouver Memorial Library because I so rarely have the opportunity to put together a program like this. I so rarely get to put what I like to say, like all the Meshas in one place. So for me, picking this program and collaborating with you to put this program together, when you were able to list the things that for you were very moving of my kind of discography and output, that was a huge, it played a large part in informing what I chose. And we're going to be hearing excerpts from my latest album, Measha Jazz, which for me was a labor of love, recorded at the Banff Centre, where I've done so much creating. And anybody who knows the Banff Centre for Creativity and Innovation knows that that's pretty much where you go to do things that you think are crazy, and that it takes away all fear, being in there in the mountains, and just allowing yourself to fly free. And I don't have any space but the space I take up. And for me, I just wanted to love on the, here, let's say hi to, come say hi. Come say hi. But then you're going to, sorry, you're going to, this is your youngest son, Sterling. Okay.
Hi.
Real life, people. This is real life.
I want the Batman mask.
The Batman mask is down in the sunroom. You open the drawer and it's in the sunroom. So it's in the sunroom.
Batman is important, people.
Oh, then take the mask that's on the side of the chair in the kitchen, right? You have your kitten mask, you know, the one with the feathers on it. Take that one instead. Okay. I literally cannot remember what I was saying. Ask me one more time. We have to this is the other thing. This brings it really home for our viewers here, because, you know, in this COVID space, I just have to do what I can. And I'm raising my boys. I got 2 boys, a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old. You just met Sterling, my 5-year-old, looking for his Batman mask. And we have to, I had to pre-record the program because I don't have enough connectivity, enough Wi-Fi, enough juice bandwidth out here to possibly sing for you and have it not be cut up, broken up, skipping. That's no good. And so I'm so grateful to your audience and to you, Taryn, for indulging me in this way in a pre-recorded state. Now, a lot of it is just for you. But what is beautiful, I think, about this program is that you'll get to see, you know, my neighborhood. When we go to Take Me to the Water, for instance, you're going to be seeing me, you know, essentially record in my backyard. And the track Take Me to the Water is from Measha Jazz, recorded at the Banff Centre, like I mentioned. But the album is inspired by the Black songstresses of the 20th century who wouldn't have had a career in classical music because they were Black. So for me, it's a kind of reverse homage to these incredible musicians and artists, people like Nina Simone and Carmen McRae and Dinah Washington and Sarah Vaughan, who had classical chops, but just no access to the market because of their skin color. And as we go through the program, you know, you'll hear Go Down Moses, and I sing some Mozart for my people who are expecting the classical aesthetic, which is my jam. And you'll also be, you know, privy to parts of my house. The Mozart happens in my foyer. So you'll see the graffiti wall. This is a painting by Paula Arciniega, a beautiful Toronto artist. This is Rite of Spring that she painted and gifted to me. She's a recovering mezzo-soprano, by the way, who found her joy in painting. And I'll tell you, you're throughout this program going to be privy to my backyard. You've met my youngest. My oldest might come in here any minute. But I tell you, it was a joy to put this together, and it's so unique because I so rarely let people into my space.
Well, thank you for putting it together for us. And why don't we go to the performance you've created for us, and then we'll meet again on the other side to speak a bit about it, and I'll ask you some questions, a few from the audience. Great.
Awesome. This is going to be so fun. Enjoy it. I hope you enjoy it as much as I enjoyed making it.
Thank you.
Wow, I am so happy to be here. This is incredible that you're joining me here in my house on my deck. This is Measha Brueggergosman transmitting from Falmouth, Nova Scotia. Can you believe it? I mean, I'm going to say it. Thank you, COVID. I mean, I would not get to show you where I live, although I will not be specific because I'm not inviting the killer to my house. I wouldn't be able to show you all this beauty. I wouldn't be able to share God's creation with you if not for the fact that I had to be here at home. And now I think it's nice to be able to share why I don't want to leave. So this means that we get to be together, even though I'm home and you're home, and everybody should be like getting a snack, getting a drink, getting some tea, getting some nookie, whatever you want to do. Just stay glued to here because it's going to be so much fun. This first tune you're going to hear is from my latest album, Measha Jazz. And I'll tell you, I had the best time recording it. And this video that you're going to see is recorded in Nova Scotia. I am singing by a river, and it's called Take Me to the Water. We realized that was a little bit on the nose, but that's okay. You can take it. You can take it to the water. And I'll tell you, it is one of the most delightful albums that I've ever had and the pleasure of recording. And I recorded it at the Banff Centre for Creativity. And I tell you, may the Banff Centre come back better than it was before, and may we all end up there congregating and making new art and innovation in their walls and on that mountain. Anyway, here is Take Me to the Water.
Shall be saved. stay any longer. I'm going back home.
Okay. Oh, I just love Mozart. But it's so hard. Oh my goodness. If you ever want to become a better singer, and I'm going to tell you right now, I am offering voice lessons on my Patreon website. And I'll tell you right now, I've super enjoyed the students I'm teaching. I teach them once a month with their subscription, and it is really showing me a lot. And come join me over there. There's room. I mean, it's a good time. And I'll tell you, I'm introducing the next tune because I grew up singing in choirs. And one of the first solos I sang was in Going Up a Yonder, which is the spiritual I'm going to sing for you. And I recently had the wonderful privilege of, at the beginning of this season, after I had recovered from my heart attack, oh, and by the way, about a year ago I had open heart surgery, double bypass. With arteries, not veins, if you can advocate for artery over vein surgery, you quote Dr. Teresa Kieser, my surgeon, and you tell them that that is the surgery that will give you the longest longevity, if that's a thing. You will live longer, and I am so much better than I was before. I've never had so much life and vitality in me. Thank you for asking how I'm doing. That was very sweet of you. And I sang in choirs all my life long, and I'm telling you about this concert that I came back to sing, and it was for the Bravo Niagara Festival. And the name of the choir that I sang with on that concert is also flashing on your screen right now, because it was a joy, like one of the greatest joys of my life, to hear these children coming in behind me, knowing that I was once one of them, and now they got to look at somebody like me, who got to look at somebody like them, and we were reflected in each other's experience, and we were honestly in that moment together. And when they started singing Going Up a Yonder behind me, it was all I could do to not burst into like the messy cry, like the one with the snot and the sobs and the hiccups. They were so beautiful. Oh, and their conductor, Jennifer. Man, she was lovely. Man, I pray her name is Jennifer. Wouldn't it ruin the moment if her name was not Jennifer? Like, that would be the worst. Anyway, this is Going Up a Yonder.
If anybody asks you where I'm going, soon. So if you want to know where I'm going, real soon, I'm going up yonder. I'm going up yonder. I'm going up yonder to be with my Lord. If I can take the pain, the heartache that it brings, there's comfort there in knowing I'll soon be home. If God gives me the grace, I'll run this this race, and soon I'll see my Savior face to face. I'm going up yonder. I'm going up yonder. I'm going up yonder to be with my Lord. I'm going up yonder. I'm going up yonder. I'm going up yonder to be with my Lord. I'm going up yonder. I'm So, if you wanna know where I'm going, where I'm going,
So, here we go. New scene, new setting, showing you different parts of my lake, which remains unnamed because I don't want to locate myself. But I tell you, this Nova Scotia landscape has been incredibly healing for me in this COVID space. It's allowed me to create. I hope you'll go to Measha.com and see all the stuff that we've been creating, or my Facebook page, and just tell us about yourselves, you know. Tell us about this beautiful concert put on by the Vancouver Public Library. I'm so grateful to have this opportunity. And there's going to be two songs coming here where both born out of the Black experience. The first one is Go Down Moses. I recorded this on my Songs of Freedom album, and it tells the story essentially when Israel was in Egypt land, let my people go, the story of Moses. Essentially it's a freedom from enslavement story, triumphant. It is a reason to celebrate. And you know, we celebrate because it's important to understand that before we're going to hear Go Down Moses, we're going to hear a tune called Strange Fruit. Strange Fruit is a tough thing to hear, but it's important because it shows us how far we've come. We have work to do for sure, but we aren't seeing black bodies swinging in the poplar trees anymore. Yes, we are seeing necks pushed down and the life sucked out of by a knee in the streets, but we saw it and we reacted, and we will continue to react. So I feel as though we're well on our way, and I hope you feel that with me and stand in solidarity with me, because I do feel like we're in a positive space right now where we're poised for a miracle. So I hope you'll take in Strange Fruit and the discomfort that it might well up inside of you. It is a time for grieving, but it's also a time for moving up forward in a new direction after we pick ourselves up. Okay, so let's move forward, and I hope you'll enjoy Strange Fruit. This video is by a wonderful videographer from Edmonton named Quentin Berger. Considering the climate we're in, none of us can be silent and hope that this will all blow over. Apathy is the enemy of change, and we need change.
Southern trees bear a strange fruit, blood on the leaves and blood at the root. Black bunnies swinging in the southern breeze. Strange fruit hanging from the poplar trees.
The meek will inherit the earth. And how and if we fight for them says everything about who we are as a society that is made up of individuals who have to choose for themselves how they want their period in history to be remembered. Are we going to be famous for doing nothing?
Southern trees bear a strange fruit, blood on the leaves and blood at the root. Black bodies swinging in the southern breeze. Strange fruit hanging from the poplar trees.
Will our children wonder how we managed to be such a massive disappointment when all we had was the longest period of global peace in recorded history, enough food to feed the planet several times over, and technology that surpasses what anyone anywhere could have thought possible, but we still managed to cannibalize ourselves because we thought somebody else would do the heavy lifting? Repeat after me. I am the change now. Say it like you mean it. I am the change now.
Pastoral scene of the garden south, the bulging eyes and the twisted mouth, scent of magnolia, sweet and fresh, then the sudden smell of burning flesh. Here is the fruit for the crows to pick, for the rain to gather, for the wind to suck, for the sun to rot, for the tree to drop. Here is a strange and bitter
From a simple conversation with my children about fairness to marching with my brothers and sisters in solidarity, I will point my life in a direction that says I didn't do nothing. I didn't think it would just go away. I didn't consider it somebody else's problem. Whatever happens or doesn't happen after this life, I used what I had to elevate, not destroy, to renew and not spew, to spread joy and not sow dissent, to stand alone if I have to, and like the Apostle Paul, to truly live my life as if to die is gain. I'm not going to waste my blessing by not being one for someone else. Hashtag my black life. Thank you so much, Quentin, for that visual representation of real injustice and a place where we need to move from, and so that we can move towards something better, because we're capable. We are capable. We're not where we were. Speaking of not being where we were, the story of freedom from enslavement that I mentioned before we played Strange Fruit is Go Down Moses. And Go Down Moses is about the Israelites being freed from Egyptian slavery. And freed they were, and marched into the promised land 40 years later. They were. And they stand as a beacon of hope for me, for my experience, because it is a hopeful story. It is wonderful to know that we are in charge of our own actions in this space. So I hope you'll enjoy Go Down Moses, which I'm going to sing for you on my lake. On my lake. There might be dancing. I can't promise that there won't be dancing. Okay, here we go now. Through the magic of technology, I'm going to make it seem as though I've made this happen. I'm a yoga teacher. Don't try this at home. The arrangement of this is by Aaron Davis. Go down, Moses, way down to Egypt's land. Tell old Pharaoh to let my people go. When Israel was in Egypt land, let my people go. Oppressed so hard they could not stand, let my people go. Go down, Moses, way down in Egypt land. Tell old Pharaoh to let my people go. When Moses went to Egypt land, let my people go. He made all the pharaohs understand, let my people go. Go down, Moses, way down in Egypt land. Tell old Pharaoh to let my people go. Oh, if you think you're not supposed to be dancing at home, think again. Get up with me. Grab the one you're with. Pretend grab the one you wish you were with. I will sing one more time, so let's just wait for it. Go down, Moses, way down in Egypt land. Tell old Pharaoh to let my people go. When Israel was in Egypt land, let my people go. Oppressed so hard they could not stand. Hey, 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 oh,
Let my people go. Let my people go. Were you dancing? I hope you were. Listen, Jim was dancing behind the camera. So I'm going to tell you right now, it is such a good time to be alive. And I hope that you will just dance with me, dance with me, dance with me, and dance with each other. Because we will be together again, and dancing will happen, as will singing in the churches. So God bless you. This is the last song on the program, and I'm super excited. Here I have to thank Jim Ivey for getting me here, and we're having a good time. So this is You'll Never Walk Alone. I sang this song all my life, actually. This is part of my history, actually. You know, the fact that je commence en français, c'est aussi partie de mon histoire. It's also a part of my history that I started in French because I grew up in New Brunswick. And c'est la seule province officiellement bilingue dans tout le Canada. And I'm very proud to be from New Brunswick. I make Nova Scotia my home. And I am very Nova Scotia strong. And maritime proud. So, love to all you West Coasters and everyone in between, from coast to coast to coast. My First Nations brothers and sisters, my Newfoundlanders, my Cape Bretoners. You'll never walk alone.
Tu marches dessus aux tempêtes, garde la tête haute et ne crains pas l'obscurité.
Much love from Nova Scotia. Back to you, Taryn.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. It was absolutely phenomenal. Measha, wow. Thank you so much. I think the first thing I want to ask you about is Strange Fruit, because that is such a powerful piece. It has such history and resonance, especially now. Can you tell us, because you chose to show it not on your doc, but this is obviously a piece you've put together. Who helped you, or how did that come about?
What you're seeing is the creation in terms of the video of a wonderful young videographer from Edmonton named Quentin Berger. Now, Quentin, I mean, let's face it, Quentin is not Black. And what I think is very important about this whole era we find ourselves in is that we are in this together. We are allies in the fight. This isn't a Black fight. This isn't a white fight. This is a human fight. This is a question of justice and us coming together and acknowledging how capable we are, how capable we are of coming together. It doesn't negate the past. It doesn't ignore the present, but we have to focus on solutions. It's all good and necessary and essential to grieve, to curl up in the fetal position and weep. But when you get up, you stand tall, you pivot, and you walk in a new direction. Because we now know that what we've been doing up until this point has not been working. But that doesn't mean that there isn't hope. That means, in fact, the acknowledgement of where we are, the truth of recognizing and eradicating things like white fragility and Black sensitivity. All of these things need to reconcile one to another in order for us to achieve true healing, which I'm really, frankly, quite excited about.
Now, a lot of people know this as a Billie Holiday song. It has, I mean, she owned it. So how did it feel taking that on?
Well, you know, I think it's important that we have eras of interpretation where we have a real strong figurehead in the woman of Billie Holiday, who I believe it was like 1939 when she recorded it. But the composer is a white Jew named Abba Meropot, right? Oh. So she interpreted his work. Listen, you know what? This one is here, and I'm speaking of strange for
here.
The splitter's here, so you know how to turn on the video, and you just put your headphones into the splitter, and then you can start and you can eat your dinner. Okay?
I don't know how.
Shepherd does. Look at this little hand. Look at this little hand. Okay, you go so Mama can finish. And I'll tell you, when I was interpreting or deciding to interpret this work, I knew how difficult it would be for people. Like, it was difficult for me, just the imagery. And I've only sung it very few times because I know how powerful it is. And it's that kind of imagery, that kind of, it's not even symbolic, right? He's literally saying, Black bodies swinging from the poplar trees. Yeah. You know, it's like, can you imagine an era where you're just, that's my driveway, by the way, that we're filming in. So I just kind of, I think we have to allow ourselves to sit in it so that we never go back. It's really important, you know, and so as hopeful as we are, as positive as we are about the new way forward, we can never remember that at one point there were Black bodies swinging.
Right.
You know.
Now, moving on to your jazz repertoire, because this is your newest album out. Now, can people buy the album or what's happening?
Okay, listen. In the self-management sphere, I'm not awesome at uploading, and I gotta tell you, I gotta give big ups to Guillermo Subaste, who, as we both know, is running this stream. So God bless you, Guillermo, because he has been with me trying to get me in a tech-savvy way, and I am doing my best, although slightly resistant. And I know that the album is on Spotify and is soon going to be on iTunes, but more importantly, every Friday, today, for instance, people are able to go to Measha.com and download the tracks for free, because I vowed to give this album away for free. because it has brought me so much joy. It's the first album I've owned myself, the first album where I've been able to decide what I wanted to do with it, and my decision was to give it away. Now, people can pay for the album, okay? And if you pay for the album, all proceeds go to me. So, know that, at Measha.com, there's a Patreon account that people can subscribe to. And frankly, at this point, I'm going to be pretty shameless about the fact that I have no career coming down the pike, and we're all making the best of the hand that has been handed to us. And after having my heart attack, which wiped out my income, and then COVID, which wiped out my income like 4 months later, I'm just doing what I can. But I am blessed and highly favored, so I'm going to be fine. I have every confidence, and all the help I can get, faithful viewers, is much appreciated. But I am not going to stop on people through song.
Right. Now, before we go and talk a bit about what COVID not has taught you, but what you have experienced or any positivity from this new world we're living in, I just want to mention that I chose 2 winners to win one of your CDs. So Renee, congratulations, you are a winner, and Margaret L. So I'll be contacting you later, and you can decide if you'd like a Measha Jazz through whatever means we will get it to you, or Songs of Freedom, another one of my favorite albums of yours.
Mm-hmm. The other thing that people can maybe, and I don't want this to discourage them from coming to the West Vancouver Memorial Library, but there could be a book in it.
Oh.
I'm just saying, I will definitely sign them if you'll indulge the time it takes for me to get it to you.
Well, we have a list of people that registered, so we may have another book. I will be contacting people, and don't forget, we have many of Measha's CDs and her one book in our collection. So before we kind of finish for this evening, which has been spectacular, can you tell us a bit about just your experience having to be a musician and an artist who can no longer travel, because you were going around the globe, you were going from city to city, and this was your livelihood, and now you're in rural Nova Scotia, and we're trying to make this new platform work, and we are still learning. So.
And it's an interesting time, Taryn. Oh, hey, Shepherd, come say hi. This is my oldest. Now you can see my oldest. I'll tell you, it's such an interesting time because I knew that I was always going to, oh, my poor child, he's almost 8, and in the top, like, 2.
Hey, Shepherd.
You say hi to Mrs. Taryn?
Hi.
Hi.
I've met Mr. Guillermo, who's behind the camera. You can't see. Say hi, Mr. Guillermo.
Hi, Mr. Guillermo.
Super close, right, Guillermo?
Close.
I'll tell you, being with this is amazing, and anytime I start to think, ooh, gee, the rat race, the career, the standing, the brand, the stuff that all falls away when you're dead and gone, and none of it ultimately matters, because this is the next generation. This is what you pour into. This is where your investment truly comes to bring you the returns that you need. And I wouldn't have chosen it. That's why I'm so grateful for it. What's going on? What did you need? Why are you here?
Oh, I was gonna ask you if you would put on the movie because Nanny brought the splitter.
Okay. Is the computer still on? Is it still showing?
It's not there anymore.
Okay. Well, bring it to me and I'll put the password in.
It's right here.
Oh, I'm using the computer. Okay. You have to wait. Be patient, and I promise you'll be rewarded. Okay. I'm like, why aren't you watching the video, child? I don't get it. I mean, a hoodwink is waiting. Anyway, So go Mama of the Year. Just using the very thing that's supposed to be entertaining them. And you have to go to the country store to download those videos so that they can. I am not about to waste a good old country store trip download. But I'll tell you that just the intimacy with your offspring, the intimacy. Now I know there are people who can't wait for this to be all over and for them to be able to leave the house and et cetera, et cetera. But I'll tell you, this has been such a creative space. I started taking a conducting course. I started could you give Mama 5 minutes? 5 minutes. We're literally live, and Nanny, all the extended Spanish. So I'll tell you, if I have to learn one more new thing, I'm liable to lose my mind.
I hear you.
The Zoom, just whether it's uploading or shared folders or every kind of thing, management has nothing to do. Trying to keep, I can't stay connected because the online school thing is not an option for us. So I don't know, I'm quite sure my children will not end up illiterate, but I am not an educator. So for me, it's been a real learning curve, trying to find ways to stay viable, not only as a self-employed artist, but, keep myself from murder. And just, I've never been, however, more organized, right? I've never, everything from the toothpicks to the sock drawer to the gowns to anything I could organize, anything I could clean, anything I could, just to keep myself from, going insane or thinking about how I literally have no income, right? It's an odd space to be in. But the people who can thrive in this space are the ones who are going to lead the way. And I've never not been a leader.
Yep. Well, I've enjoyed a lot of your discussions on Instagram. You've been lively on many different social platforms. And if any of you want to check out, you can go to Measha's social media and see some of her past discussions. She had an excellent one with Jeremy Dutcher.
Jeremy Dutcher, yeah.
You have a vibrant presence online. So thank you for spending this time with us and curating such a lovely collection of songs. And we look forward to seeing you out in the world live, in person.
Yes.
Because
I'll tell you right now, my Christmas concert with the Vancouver Symphony is holding.
Ooh, okay. I want a ticket, people. I don't have anyone to get me a ticket, but who's ever out there?
I might know someone, Taryn.
Ooh, so excellent.
Let's just plan for that.
I look forward to it.
And dinner, and I will be visiting the West Vancouver Memorial Library when it comes.
We will come. I will show you around. I'll show you West Van. We'll walk on the seawall.
Amen. Yes.
Yes. So thank you again. Thank you everyone out there for joining us. And I'm just going to do a shameless plug. We have another fabulous concert with Jill Barber coming August 14th at 7 o'clock. So please join us there again live on YouTube and Facebook. Have a great evening, everyone. Bye, Measha.